Yeah.
Hi, Nick.
Hi.
How are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Very good. Can you let me know if the audio is okay? Do you hear an echo?
The audio is perfect.
Great.
Can see video. Hi, Al.
Hi.
Hi. Shalom.
Hi there. So if you want to confirm that everything's set up properly, I'll have to mute this session, but I'll keep an eye on the comments if you have any problems.
Can you make me a host?
I can make you host, yeah.
Good. So will someone be monitoring the waiting room or in the chat?
I've switched the waiting room off, so people will come straight in if they've got the link.
Okay. Very good. So I understood we should start some minutes later because of the previous event.
Well, you start whenever suits you. Like I say, I'll monitor the chat now, but your host and any problems, just type in the chat and I'll keep an eye on it.
Hello, is anyone here?
Okay, so let's wait like 2-3 more minutes and then we can begin.
Okay, so I think we'll kick off this EVA London workshop. So we're very pleased to welcome you all, and especially Isle Gruce, who's joining us for the second year. So Isle's been part of EVA London previously, and this year in 2021, we're glad to have him back. And last year's session was a very successful review of various techniques that could be used to develop deepfake avatars and ways in which Isle has been utilizing this for his artistic practice, and also you know, sort of showing some of the results thereof, and also ways that you can experiment with the different parameters and sort of create your own deepfakes as well. So Isle, without further ado, welcome back, and over to you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Thank you for EVA London for having me again. What we'll do today, I will start with about a 1 hour review, talking both about the giving some background, giving an overview of important developments and very recent developments in technology and techniques to create deepfakes and avatars. I will give a strong personal focus on how I'm using it in my artistic and activist practices. And we also can discuss some moral and social aspects, which are of course important, especially in this field. But I do want to have like at least half of the session for a hands-on participatory tutorial. And in this part, we will be able to play with an experiment, again, with the latest code that was released. Indeed, I gave a similar workshop last year, and a lot of new things came out. And we will be able to play with anything that was open sourced and released. We will be able to play with it today, including things from the recent weeks and months. Some of these are, I created some wrappers to make them more accessible. And some of them also, I think, have some novel properties that maybe are absent elsewhere. And I'll show you all the stuff that I know. So I think it's a unique opportunity, really, if you're interested in this field, to participate and experiment and do your own stuff. I'll show how you can do everything without installing any software, without prior knowledge, without need of special hardware. So I really hope that you will take an active part. Finally, I won't be monitoring the chat, at least not in the first part. So please just jump in and say so if there's any issue or you have any questions or remarks. Okay. Okay, avatars for all. I'm Eyal Gruce. I'm a machine learning researcher and a new media artist, an ex-physics PhD. And mostly I'm trying to combine machine learning and various algorithms with my art practice. So I have these two hats of an artist creator and AI practitioner. And I find that these AI capabilities can actually help me empower myself. So I'm quite limited in my ability to create. I can write and read words and codes, and I have many ideas, but I do not know how to write music or play music, to paint. Even sometimes I have a writer's block and I cannot write. But I can write code. And as you probably already know, this code already serves you alternatives and completions for your text messages. And today we'll see more cases where it can help us either to generate media, to manipulate media, maybe even to perform live with some kind of media manipulation. But still, I retain a lot of agency in my art. These are my concepts, not a machine. This is my process, my machine learning code, or other people's, based on other people's open source code. And finally, the poetic choices are still mine to make. So let me okay, before we jump in, we'll talk today about neural networks. I won't be technical at all, but just to give you the high level view, it's a machine. This machine, the generative neural network, in very basic terms, it can take in some kind of media from various kinds, like image, video, text, audio, and so on. And it does some kind of processing, encoding this media into some kind of computer representation, latent representation, some code that the computer maybe attributes something of its understanding of the semantics of the image, of the text in a compressed way, that the machine can do calculations on it or manipulate it. And then we have the second part, the decoder, which takes this computer representation, and in a reverse process, it tries to recreate a rich media for human consumption that again can be an image, video, audio, and so on. Now you can do like same media to same media, like text to text. For example, take a sentence in Hebrew, understand it, and then write a new sentence in English. But also various combinations are possible, like image to text, text to image, maybe text to video in the near future, and so on. And today we'll focus mostly on either image to image or video to video applications. Maybe we'll mention some little things about text and audio also.
Doe, a deer, a female deer. Re, a drop of golden sun.
ایمان بیاوریم به ویرانه های باغ تخیل.
ואז גם אני יכול לנוע מהר מהאור.
물끄러미 바라보다 고운 난초를 건네노니.
Okay, so by the way, sorry for the choppiness, but you will be able to see all videos later if you want to see them fluidly. So jumping in, starting introducing myself, this is an example of a artwork installation that I did at the time with Vert Heruti and Elliot Sapirstein. Actually, there are three models here, similar to the ones we just discussed. One is taking the audio, the speech, and translating it into text. The second one takes the text, which can be in any language, and translates it into English. And the third one takes the English text and creates an image out of it. So in this work, Pictures of Job Goals and Synthesis, we try to create this kind of live visual poetry machine. And maybe even if you did not understand Hebrew, Korean, or Persian, you can get something of the image, something of the vibe. The Korean lady was speaking about a colorful flower. So maybe this can create some kind of more universal poetry experience or synesthetic poetry experience. So this is just to give you an example of an art project, but applying many different machine learning models. We did this, by the way, in a 30-hour hackathon. This is another work of mine. I do things with poetry, usually actually in Hebrew, but this is an example where I am trying to do this kind of live automatic writing based on the word cloud that is based on word vectors, if you know. Okay, anyway, this is a more recent work, and actually this is the beginning of my interest in this subject that we will speak today. not very long ago.
Hail Mary, full of grace, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art thou amongst women, and blessed is the fruit of thy womb, the Lord is with thee. Blessed art
Well, not very long ago, we were all pushed into this new era of Corona, and one of my first experiments I did at the time was to take this live dashboard of Corona causalities, and it was like, I think it's 1/10 of what we have to date. So this was like in the beginning, and I created this live interaction where each time the counter goes up by 1, you get another layer of the Hail Mary prayer. And as I was working at this, I actually understood that this is quite a morbid work, especially because I was sitting and staring at it, waiting for the counter, the death toll to go up just to make sure that it works. So anyway, the reason I'm talking about this is because as many other people, all my professional, social, artistic activities moved online for maybe a year and a half. And I was not so happy about this, of course, and I set up to understand what can I do online? How can I express myself online? Since I was forced to move to the cyber realm. So contemplating on this, I did recall that there were some promises that we were made, quotes, of having one day this virtual world, this cybernetic utopia, where we can be anybody that we want to be, and we can do anything, and it will liberate us from our physical bodies and allow us to be our real selves. And I was wondering, maybe this forced move online due to Corona, and maybe this is the opportunity. Maybe this is the time that that we go cybernetic. So this is from Ready Player One, and I try to see what is available. And one very interesting platform I knew, which is quite veteran, is the Upstage platform. And actually they just very recently renovated it, but for I think a few decades it looked like this, and it was a very innovative and rich platform to allow people to do these kinds of cyber performances. But maybe at least this older version is a little bit outdated. And of course, this is like a niche, very respected, but a niche community. Okay. A more recent attempt was these crazy VR parties that this is by Modus Studio. They recreated Tel Aviv and had these zany parties with all these crazy characters. It was quite fun. You don't have to use a VR set. You can do it from the browser. But again, not so many people attended. Also a more niche platform. And on a very different account, you can find, for example, the Facebook Horizon, and I think there are other similar offerings allowing this 3D VR world where for some reason they say not actual VR footage, and for some reason not non-actual feet also. They don't have feet. I'm not sure why. Maybe they cannot run away. Okay, so these were some of the options that I found at the day, but usually it looks like this. Everything is on Zoom, and Zoom looks like this, and this is already a good account where people share the screen. They don't share so much, and so I wanted to see at this point what can I do, and you can do a few things. First of all, if you're familiar with the Zoom, and today it's more difficult, but you can do like the Zoom interventions or Zoom bombing. Here is like one early example of mine.
היי,
It's in Hebrew, but I guess you can understand the
אפשר?
important terms.
כן, כן, אני שומע.
Can you hear the
קודם כל אני
audio?
רוצה
Just
להוסיף
let me make
משהו
sure.
שאתה קצת...
Yeah. Something is stuck. Let's see. Okay.
קצת ידע. האילומינטי מורכב מ-13 משפחות, ביניהם רוקפלר ורוטשילד. הרוקפלר,
So this is a Illuminati conference or anti-Illuminati, anti-vax conference.
במשך כל ההיסטוריה,
And then
את כל המדעים, את כל האוניברסיטאות.
אנחנו האילומינטי, אנחנו שולטים בעולם, ה-G5 מגיע.
So the Illuminati come in and expose themselves and bomb this conference. So this is a very simple technique that today it's harder because there are more security measures, but you can still do it sometime. Okay, so we can still be creative with Zoom. Maybe we don't want to be ourselves. So we're talking today about many options and new options for avatars and deepfakes. I was quite surprised to see this from 2013, FaceRig, and now they have another version, animes. And this costs a few bucks on Steam. I'm not sure if someone was talking. And you can have these great real-time 3D avatars and 2D animation avatars.
Dance me to the wedding now.
So I'm also looking for love. I'm a bachelor, and this also went online. And remember, this is the cybernetic utopia, so I can be anyone I want to be. Actually, I really felt like a tiger at the time. So I went into this speed dating event as a tiger, looking for love. I think there is a new Netflix show coming out that people are actually in costume for the dating in real life. So here I try to do it in Zoom, and you can see in a second the tiger coming in on the top left. And in the beginning, people are intrigued, girls are smiling, they're asking me questions and so on. And for the intro part, I'm like dancing and being cool. But in the end, a discussion ensues whether I'm a bot or not, and whether tigers are entitled to find a human love or not. And they kick me out before I'm able to, before the event begins. So no love for the tiger. It's interesting because I later talked to some of the people, and we had this discussion about what is the issue. And in the beginning, they told me because you come with a mask and you're not revealing yourself. And you know, in Hebrew, mask, masecha, and screen, masach, are from the same root. And I think I was able to convince them that maybe the issue is not the mask itself, but the screen. And if this was in reality, like you have now in the Netflix show, maybe this would be less of a problem. So I later, I wasn't a tiger anymore, I was a wolf. And here, this is after they kicked me out of another event. This is the dating counselor, and she's like giving me this before they're kicking me out, just asking me what is going on. So here I was already a wolf, but again they didn't allow wolves to find human love. Okay, but enough with the games. I'm also a machine learning and deep learning researcher, and I recalled that in November 2019 came out the first order motion model, which will be pivot to what we will talk about today. This allows you to take a single image and to get animation out of a single image. It can be of a head, a full body, and they have also more. But let's go back a little bit. 2018, this is an example of a deep fake I made for Israeli TV. Taking this presenter, Dror Globerman, and turning him into Israel's former Prime Minister, Bibi Netanyahu. I think there is some mic open, so if you can please close your mics for the moment. And okay, so this is the classical deepfake face swapping. I had to run it on a strong machine for almost a week and do pre-processing, post-processing, and so on. We don't do this stuff anymore. So this is deepfake, where we swap a face on top of a different face. There is another similar effect with a subtle difference that we will discuss today more elaborately, which is puppeteering or face reenactment. So in both cases, we have a driver video and a single image avatar. The difference is, in both cases, we take from the driver the expression, the head pose, and the lip sync, and from the avatar, we take the identity. The difference is do we take the hair, the body, the skin tone, the background, and so on. So in the classic face swap, it's Obama's body and Obama's office, but with the Chinese president's face. And in the second option, it's the woman with the short hair, but she is now controlling the woman with the long hair, retaining the avatar's original clothes and background, and so on. So maybe the second allows you to have a more realistic result. Okay. You already know how it works in the basic level. It's the same encoder, decoder we spoke about in the beginning. I put my face into an encoder. The computer extracts some kind of latent representation, and then a decoder reconstructs my face. And in the training process, we do this with one trick. So we take different people, but we train the same encoder. So there is a universal encoder taking any face and learning how to get a latent computer representation out of it. But the decoder is personal. So I have my own decoder, and Bibi Netanyahu, Israel's ex-prime minister, has his own decoder, and so on. So this is one trick. The second trick, when I use this model, I put my face in the universal encoder, but then I decode it with another person's decoder. And in this way, I can transfer some of the semantics of my face as the lip sync and so on to the other identity.
I'm Jim Eskeman.
So
what it feels like
the audio here is not good, but probably you see it choppy, but here we have a voice impersonator. He does very good voice impressions, and they do the face swap accordingly with the voice he is making, and the combined effect, when you hear the audio, can be very convincing.
The definition of cheap throat.
By the way, but still, if you want to do this kind of deep fake, the easiest way to get the audio is to get an impressionist to do it, especially if it's not like a very, very famous US president or not in English. You don't have so many options. Okay, so we talked about faces. This is an example of a full body control. So you can see the source video on the left, and you can think about the skeleton on the bottom left, like some kind of latent representation, and from it they recreate the video of the student. Let me jump here to the another example. Okay, so these students cannot dance ballet like this, but using this kind of a video, a full body transfer, they are now able to do so. Now, again, this kind of algorithm is difficult to run. You need to train it for each student and each dancer for several days and a strong machine and so on. We don't do this anymore. You may have heard the theme of this talk. I think there are two vectors that we are seeing. One is getting more qualitative results, so higher quality, high resolution, deal with video and audio, with head and the body, maybe non-human avatars, different conditions like non-frontal view occlusions, maybe multiple avatars, and so on. But actually today, I want to focus on the other branch, which is the quantitative side, or as I say, the accessible side. And the idea is to be able to run this kind of models with less data and less training. So when you talk about few shots or in the limit of 0 shot, you actually do not require to do any new training for your new avatar or your new driver. You can just use the pre-trained model, which is generic enough, and maybe even run this in real time. Now, both of these branches also will converge, and in the end, we will get the best of the both worlds. But today, I want to talk about the more accessible stuff, even though maybe you can get higher quality with more effort. So this is just a simple demo. There's not a lot of things you can do with it, but it's really like high quality. So you can upload an image to Deep Nostalgia and MyHeritage. And this was done by another company called DAD. Actually, MyHeritage, I think they went public just before this, but after this, they became tenfold more popular or something like this. Anyway, if you were paying attention to the video, the purple image that I put in is like a very bad image. It's very distorted, but still I think you can see the nuances of the movement, and it feels quite real, and it's not so much creepy. And maybe the fact that it's purple maybe allows you to focus on these nuances.
Because Avatarify only requires a single image to transfer motion, I can create a custom avatar based off of this picture of my grandpa. Even though this is only an approximation of motion, it's still pretty amazing to see what it might have been like to meet my grandpa when he was a young man. And this could go beyond just making cool animations. Just imagine getting to watch a picture.
Okay, so this was April 2020, and this was the day I woke up, got out of bed, and thought, what can deep learning do for me in this cyber forced world? I was very happy to find Avatarify that came out only maybe a few days or weeks before that. And this is a wrapper for the first order motion model that we've seen some slides ago, allowing you to run it if you have a strong machine and know to install code, allows you to run it in real time and get a real-time avatar. And this was a breakthrough. And this guy is puppeteering his late grandfather. And I was very happy to find this, and I had a lot of ideas what I can do with it. So I just set out to experiment. So there was this a fringe theater event online, which I went in as Miri Regev. She was the cultural minister of Israel at the time, and she doesn't go to these fringe events, but actually the organizers thought that I was her. So this is not like this is like a live avatar of her. In another event, a poetry reading event, they were hosting this Iraqi poet, and they were saying that he will be late. So I thought, let's have some fun. I just quickly Googled him, found an image, fired up Avatarify on my GPU, and went in as this Iraqi poet. Unfortunately, he did not show up. I actually felt very bad. These are his friends. They love him, and they were so happy to see him. So I didn't have the heart to just leave or reveal myself, and I just spent all the time just nodding and smiling and pretending as if my mic doesn't work because I cannot like speak Arabic. And it took me some months to tell these guys that actually it was not him, but I was glad to find out that he was okay. So this is like a political rally of the Likud party. We had like, I don't remember, 4 or 5, 3 elections in the last year in Israel, in the last years. And we had the problem with political spam. And I used to go to a live rallies and just read out back the spam, and they would, the people from the different parties would hit me online. So once I do it online, they cannot hit me, and until they throw me out, I can just go in, and this parliament member, it's his avatar, and read him back the spam that he sent me. So this is like a more activist use case. And I think this is one of the most important ones, but it does require some explanation. Unfortunately, there are a few startups, some of them are Israeli, that claim to use deep learning technology to look at a person's face and decide if he or she is a criminal, will be a criminal, is like a pedophile, is a terrorist, or so on. And of course, we do not believe that this information exists in the human face alone, because we do believe in, say, education and social morals. And this may remind you of like some darker times where people were categorized by their looks or by their origin. And unfortunately, they had this meetup like one day after Holocaust Day. So someone had some questions for the CEO about the product. Let me show you.
We hope to help all the people without credit history, and we hope that there not will be any new problem like Michelle and Michelle's mom, and save some life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ido. Thank you.
Question for Ido. Can you do a Jew detection? Can you detect the Jewish face, maybe by the nose or by the size of the skull, so we can find the Jews and catch them before they take all the jobs?
What?
No, he was kidding with something from the past that's he tried to be, I don't know if serious or make a joke.
Okay,
I will not take it serious.
So this guy from the past comes in and asks if the technology to catch criminal can be used to catch a very different kind of criminals. So I hope these examples show you that you can go quite far away with just zoom bombing in Avatarify or some kind of avatar for the art, for the activism, for your finding love. Maybe that does not work so good, and so on. And
we opt to.
So there are other similar technology. Wav2Lip can take a single image or a video and fix the lip sync given just an audio. So for a single image, it maybe doesn't look too real because they're not moving their heads. There are also later developments also doing some movement. I will show you in a second. Sometimes you have this funny glitches.
What?
And with the tools we play today, I added an option that if you have a few speakers and the speaker changes, you can change the avatar. Doesn't work so good. That's
sweeping that clock. Hey, Ernie.
Hey, Bert.
Hey, Aaron. What do you got in the box there, huh?
This, Bert?
Yeah.
This is my ice cube collection.
So WebTulip is like all the other, is an academic paper, and they put the code because they were very generous, and the model and the demo. But then you can mix and match. You can take an unrelated model to separate audio speakers and put them together and make this automatic skit creator. So I think it's interesting to think how you can take these academic demos and mix them and create very novel interfaces. Let's skip this. Full body. So Wu-Wei Kung Fu, this is my Kung Fu method for the past 10 years. They're celebrating 50 years anniversary this week. On the left is my teacher, Eyal Cohen. He's the head of the system. And at the right, Joseph Cowles. He is the inventor of the system. He is no longer alive. We don't have, I think, any videos of him. We just have these bad quality photographs. And what we're seeing here is that my teacher is doing like the first form of Wu-Wei Kung Fu, and he is puppeteering his master. And maybe, it's bad quality, but maybe this is like the first and only option to see the inventor of the system doing this very important form. Now, if we did have a better picture, for example, an image I took of myself, so now my teacher is puppeteering me. And probably this is the best instance of me being able to do this form, which is quite complicated. So this is using Impersonator++, one of I think the highest quality we have today. You still see it's not perfect, but the models get better from month to month. Okay, this is like very recent, some weeks ago. I had mixed results. This is from the guys, they're not part of actually Snapchat, but this is from the guys that did the first order motion model. And this is a different model to do this kind of both head and the full body animation. We can also play with this today. You can see the gun here, left, Han Solo's gun was left in the air. It's funny artifact. Taking it further, this is like a very initial stage, but you can think not only of video, you can think about live character control, where you upload your own image and body and control it live in some kind of game. So this is just a very initial a demo.
We introduced a practical tool for iteratively
And
editing talking head video.
This is like, I think, maybe 1 month ago. And you see tools like this come out all the time. They never release the actual source code and the models.
And within 40 seconds,
so you have this video of a person talking, and you can actually edit the text with a textual editor and get a new video with the original character speaking the new text with his voice, having the lip sync for the new text, and even having facial gestures according to the new text.
Finally,
say if he's saying a joke, maybe would smile. So they can do it all here. And of course, they do not release this model. I don't expect them to do so. And okay, this is, I don't know, again, 2-3 weeks ago.
While you have the chance, because to be honest, depending on how things go in no cicadas, you're
so next week tonight, like last week tonight, they are planning the next episode of John Oliver. And this is very similar to the former example, but here also they have the body gesture generated according to the new text, or the new audio. And again, they did not release the model, and I'm not sure that they will. So, but there are many things that were released that we've seen, and you see, I show you some things that I did with the Avatarify for the live head puppeteering, and I really wanted to make this more accessible. at the time, and now I think they have an iPhone app, and maybe there's a window app that you can install. But at the time, you did need to know some code, and you still need a strong computer, access to a strong GPU to run it in real time. And I really wanted to see what can we do online. And fortunately, we have this recent online code notebooks, for example, the Google Colab, allowing us to run code in the browser using Google GPU for free. And there are some limitations. For example, having a live camera feed in real time. And actually, I'm very bad at web and everything. So it was very difficult. But after a very hard effort, I was able to create what I think is, at the time was the first and maybe still the only online version of Avatarify, which works in the browser. You don't have to install anything. You don't have to know code, and you don't need any special hardware. You just need good internet and a Google account. And I give it like a very, this is open source and you can change the code, but you don't have to. I give a very rich GUI, allowing you to change avatars, to drag and drop, to use different kind of computer generated avatar, either human or non-human, and tweak almost all of the model options. And I even added some new options of mine. So this is like the pinnacle of the interfaces that I prepared, and we will play with it soon.
שלום רב וערב טוב.
So I already give a similar workshop in, this is already outdated in several online conferences. Each time I'm adding new tools. If you remember the deep fake I did with Benjamin Netanyahu in the beginning, I told you it took 1 week, pre-processing, post-processing in a strong machine. This was done by a friend of mine, Doron Tsirulnik, after a similar workshop. Once he knew how to do it, it takes a few minutes. And you can see it's not like cinematic results, but it's quite good. And let me just tell you that all the cinematic quality results you see, usually you have like a video editor go frame by frame and fix the results if you really want to have the high quality results. But if you want it for social media, I think this can be good enough. Going into the realm of self-referential and conspiracy theories, there was this story some time ago in Israel about these left-hand supporters that woke up and become right-hand, and people wrote these like stupid text blurbs on Facebook, and they put these images. These images, if you're familiar with, you would recognize that they come from a style gun, specifically from the website This Person Does Not Exist. And there was a debate, are these people real or not? And then my colleague Alex Pirstein did a deep fake on a deep fake. She took again these online tools, she took the single image, and she did with her own voice, she read out this text.
אני מתביישת במחנה שלי. כל חיי הפגנתי למען השלום.
Okay, so it's in Hebrew, but then people said, oh, so maybe this is real, maybe this is not fake. So it was quite funny. This is another example of, this is actually running locally in your browser using recent technology called MediaPipe by Google, allowing you to do this face swap. Like this is like a cheap deepfake in your browser. And again, this is a deepfake and deepfake because they took the video and they put Rabin's, Israeli's late murdered prime minister, So they did it to promote some left-wing agenda, and then I took their video and changed it back to Benjamin, not back, but changed it again to Benjamin Netanyahu with this online tool, and you can see it's quite glitchy. The glitches are sometimes fun, but sometimes, you know, it can be an okay result. And I also added some capabilities to this face mesh website, so you can also use it on your own videos and download them, and we can play with it later. This is like an Israeli organization that used these tools in the last year to educate students in elementary and middle schools in Israel. You know, usually you find these innovations in the show business industry, and like porn are the first one to take these new technologies. I was quite happy to find that they were interested in using my tools, like the first customer to use these free tools for education, to teach children about responsible media consumption and the possibilities of and dangers of synthetic media. And I think this is the last example. So this is not a Zoom bombing. I was invited by the director of this online theater show about the Eichmann trial. And Lilach, so she told me, yeah, maybe you can come in with your funny avatars and do something. And I took it one step further, and I wrote a short dialogue between Adolf Eichmann and Yechiel Dinu, which was a survivor from the Holocaust, about the future of theater. And I used various tools like colorization and Avatarify to do this kind of, here I am, I actually used a recording to do it. Another technique, so
Meine Damen und Herren, גבירתי הבימאית.
So yeah, it's in Hebrew, but and this is not Zoom bombing, so they invited me to do it.
זוהי אם כן
So maybe this is an example of how this can be applied to art, to theater. Okay. So before we move to the practical part, I want to take this opportunity to speak about the moral, social aspects. Feel free to jump in. But again, this is from my own unique point of view. Usually you hear in the media about the bad aspects, and I will address it, but I actually want to address what I see as positive prospects or aspects, even if they're maybe more niche. So first and foremost, I think that these technology, these tools, so I'm trying to make them accessible. Why am I doing it? So I want to help artists and so on, but I think it's a good thing, because I think it can help raise awareness and healthy skepticism towards the possibilities in synthetic media. Now, you cannot stop it. This technology, like any other technology, it can be used for good or bad. It is coming up in the form of mobile apps. It is already available today if you have a video studio and you have enough money, or you're techie enough, you're tech savvy. But this is not fair. And I think that making it more public will allow people to understand the possibilities and be more critical of the media they are consuming. Now, this is a process. We are not there yet. And I want to claim that fake news is not new. So we have blood libels for the last millennia, right? Stories about Jews drinking the blood of Christian babies on Passover or something like that. Okay, but this is just hearsay. What if you have like real evidence? So in 1857, they invented the technique of photomontage, of combining together two photographs. And I think 40 years later, Herzl, Benjamin Theodor Herzl, like the Zionist prophet, he met with the German emperor, and this is a famous photograph of the meeting, and this meeting occurred, but the photographer, David Wolfson, was too thrilled and confused, and he couldn't get a good photo. So he did a photo montage. Fortunately, he had this technique already for a few decades. He did this photo montage of the meeting, and this is the famous photo we have today. Okay, this is not new. Probably you heard about cheap fakes, and actually there were many examples in also in Corona time, and in the last, of course, incidents we had in Israel. So I don't recall exactly if it was related to Corona or not, but anyway, you can take an image and just change the title. Take an image from Syria of some humanitarian disaster and change the title and say that it happened in Gaza. So it's very easy to use these photorealistic media to create a cheap fake. Now, if you know a little bit of Photoshop, it's quite easy to manipulate images. Okay, so in this case, this strong guy from the extreme right called the Shadow, he took this image from an extremist right-wing demonstration in the States, and he put the logo of a human rights organization in Israel on the T-shirt, and he claimed, "Oh, you see, these guys are neo-Nazi." So this is a very easy manipulation to do. I am not very good at Photoshop, but also I could do it. So it had to be done. I just took this guy's face, put it back on top of this image. And I also had to buy his domain, which was available for sale, his previous domain, and put it as the main page there. I think it's still there. Okay, so this is like still images, but what about video? What about film? So I want to claim that this is also not new. The ability to manipulate film we have already for a few decades. Hollywood, Disney, NASA, no, NASA not, but governments can do anything they want also with videos or big studios.
We're entering an era in which our enemies can make it look like anyone is saying anything at any point in time, even if they would never say those things. So, for instance, they could have me say things like, I don't know, Killmonger was right, or Ben Carson is in the sunken place, or, how about this, simply, President Trump is a total and complete dipshit. Now, you see, I would never say these things, at least not in a public address, but someone else would. Someone like Jordan Peele. This is a dangerous time. Moving forward.
So this is a very early example, a very famous one, of course. And actually, what we see here is Obama's original video, and they only changed the lip sync. So it's a very early technique, an involved one, where they photographed Jordan Peele's lips. They superimposed it on top of Obama. And then they did this kind of style transfer or a lip swap to make these lips of Jordan Peele look like the original lips of Obama. So it's just lip transplanting. But he speaks, of course, about this important issue. So I hope that I convince you that these things are not new. Of course, it's much more maybe convincing today, but this is something that humanity has been dealing with for a long time. Okay, the second issue that usually comes up is about privacy, and of course, usually it's privacy infringing, and I actually want to advocate the use case of privacy preserving. So one of the first, I will show some censored porn in the next slides. One of the most famous use cases, first use cases of deepfakes was in porn. Here they take the face of Gal Gadot, Superwoman, and pose her face inside a porn shoot without her consent, of course. Also, we had this deep nude app. So you take a woman with clothes, say a bathing suit, and then it invents a body that is generated, but it can look. So if you are like a normative, white, blonde, thin a woman, young woman, then you would get a good result. I tried it on myself, the results were not so good. But again, even though this is fake, of course, this is very hurtful and infringing on the privacy of these women. I want to advocate the privacy preserving use case. So for some years, and this is, the quality here is very bad. It was a quick demo I did to get some money that I didn't get. But for some years, I wanted to do this local reality, documenting my attempts to meet women in public spaces. And I couldn't do it because I didn't want to ask for consent. I didn't want to blur their faces. I didn't want it to be scripted. And I didn't want to infringe on their privacy. But once I had deepfake technology, now I could take the face of a real actor and put her face instead of these women. And on one hand, I protect their identity, but I still retain the original, authentic smile, reaction, head pose, lipstick, and so on. And 1 year later, HBO did a documentary, Welcome to Chechnya, which was, I think, the first public use case that I've seen, actually, again, using deepfakes to protect the identity of these Chechenians that probably had some issues with the government. So they use actors to protect their identity. Okay. So we're about to finish this first part. I want to mention some more niche views. So the fake anything paradox is what I call to like this my own personal attempt to understand that my media representation is not me, and maybe I shouldn't care so much about how my video looks. And there are actually some very interesting recent cases that also address the fake news from the beginning. So this was in Gabon. There were claims that this video of this president that was sick is a deep fake. And then 1 year later in Myanmar, of this head of the opposition that was either coerced or this was a deep fake to make this video. And I think till today, it's not clear. There are different opinions. But I want to actually address here the aspect of the possibility to claim that something real, because we think that both of these videos are actually real, that something real is actually fake. And maybe more like a less, I don't know, a smaller incident was with this politician from this Muslim country that they had this sex tape of him, I think a homosexual sex tape, and he claimed that it's like a deep fake. And again, I don't know if it's real or fake, but on the personal level, I was happy that we now can claim that real things are fake. And this is my reasoning. So I have two videos here. We don't have time to do it, but on the left, there is a video of me picking my nose. I'm very embarrassed about it. I don't want you to see it. On the right, there is a different video of me picking my nose using the state-of-the-art deepfake technology. It's awesome. It looks amazing. Actually, it's so good you couldn't tell the difference between the two videos. And here is the paradox. So I hate the real video and I'm happy with the fake video. But if they're both look identical, so without further knowledge of what is real or what is fake, there is a paradox here because I cannot hate and love the same thing. So something needs to go. And the claim that I'm trying to live by is that in a world where everything can be fake or real and you don't know, maybe you should not care so much if someone posts a video of you picking your nose or having, I don't know, some kind of sex or so on. Okay, so maybe don't care so much about your physical appearance in media or at all. And the last point I want to make, and I think this is maybe the most interesting one, I think we may be moving from an economy of distributing media to one of distributing ideas. NVIDIA Maxine came out some months ago. This is just a platform to save bandwidth on Zoom. So you transmit like a low resolution image, and on the other side you get a reconstruction with high resolution. And most recently in June they put out a vid-to-vid cameo, which actually is very similar to first order motion model and Avatarify. You can just send a single image and it animates you on the other side. So this is originally to save bandwidth, but I think something interesting may be happening here. I think we are moving to an era where we will be transmitting the director's instructions or the screenwrite a play, and the machine, the end machine on the other side will generate the content. Maybe we won't need to distribute porn or hateful porn anymore. Maybe we can just distribute ideas, and each one will generate his own fantasies on her own machine. Okay, so I don't really want to go into text because there's not so much time. Just mentioned there is like GPT-3, still not widely available, but generating like human quality text. Recently we had Google Lambda doing this like conversation with like if Pluto was alive, again giving very good results. I actually this is in Hebrew. I did some things with Hebrew poetry which we won't read because it's in Hebrew, but let me just say that not sure why it's not playing, but let me just say that the last sentence here, David Avidan, Israeli poet, said, I think in the 70s, he talked about a day when computers will write scripts and poems, and he said that they will do the writing, they will do the hard work, and we humans, we will be the guiding mind and the confirming eye. And I think for the first time last year, both due to these innovations in avatars and both due to other innovations like DALL-E and Clip, creating original content from text, which we will not cover today, I started believing that this is actually, maybe this is happening nowadays. Okay, so this is about what I wanted to tell you about what is happening today, how I'm using it, and so on. And what I would like to do now, I would like to ask you to open this first link. Maybe someone can put it in the chat, and we can take like a 3-minute break just to quick drink and so on. And I will ask you to open this in your browsers, and we will start the hands-on part. Okay, and we can also take questions. So let's take this short break opportunity just to set up. So for the link, I'll put it also with the HTTPS, so there's no issue to open it. Okay, so let's continue in a quarter two. And let me iterate that maybe I gave a lot of condensed knowledge, but I think now is the like most interesting part and like a unique opportunity to play with these tools yourself. I will be very step by step to introduce it, but you can also like run ahead and do advanced things. So back in a few minutes. So in the meantime, I'm happy to take any questions. If you have them.
You can, it's not a question, but you can hack, what's the avatar program from Steam that you said?
There's FaceRig.
FaceRig.
There are a few newer ones.
You can inject textures inside FaceRig and make your own new stuff, which is cool.
Do you have an example to share?
Yeah, actually. I do all my tutorials on glitches with a glitched out octopus thing.
Yeah, so actually some platforms also on Snapchat, I think it's more involved, but you have the Lens Studio by Snapchat, and you can do very, you can actually use like TensorFlow models there.
Yeah, I played around a little bit with the Snapchat stuff, but it's quite heavy. There's uglier, faster ways. How do I show it?
You can share your screen. It's the green button on the bottom.
Yeah. You see it?
Yeah.
So you can do this, basically.
Very nice. Okay,
Which is like it's with FaceRig.
I will follow up with you later because I actually need this for another project. So,
I can imagine.
Yeah. So yeah. So thank you. So if you're just coming back, Yaniv Schoenfeld is doing amazing work with the glitches, and you also have a YouTube tutorials on YouTube. So feel free to put it in the chat if you wish. And he just showed us how he used the FaceRig to do this glitchy octopus transformation. If we are back, we can take questions. In the meantime, I just want to ask you again to open the first link. And what I would ask you to do is to split your screen, and on half of your screen, open the Zoom presentation, and on the other half, open the your own browser. And this is the link, the Avatars for All Google Doc that I've asked you to open. So please have half a screen showing mine and half a screen showing yours. And make sure you see this document. And in a second, I'll go over just to give an overview of the tools that we will use and the resources that are available here. And we'll then just do together some, and then we can do various experimentations, each with his own interests. Okay, so are there any, you're very quiet in the talk, maybe too much information, but if there are any questions or remarks, this could be a good time as people are setting up.
I'm here. Okay, so again, I'm happy that we are the same number we began with. Feel free to jump in, and let me just reiterate that this is like a participatory part, and hopefully you will share your the things that you are doing. There will be issues. I can help you solve some of these issues. There will be bad results. I think we can learn more
from seeing the bad results, and maybe I can give some advice or practices how to get better results. And people sometimes have very nice results, and they sometimes do all these zany, crazy stuff, which is most interesting. So hopefully each of and every one of us will have the opportunity to share some results. Okay, so in this Google Doc, there are several parts. The first one is the Colab or web. So these are interfaces, and mostly based on Google Colab that we will see in a second, allowing you to run all these new models in the browser. Okay, we will go over this in a second. Then we have a virtual camera. A virtual camera is the component you need if you want to take this result and stream it back into Zoom. So you can be an avatar and Zoom. Now, this is a little bit more involved. If you're not very fluent with technology, then maybe don't try this today. I won't be able to give too much support on this, maybe like in the end of the talk, or if we take it offline. Then you have all these other avatar software. So there's the Steam that we discussed, the face rig that Yanid showed us, and the Snap Camera, and the iPhone app, and the like Windows beta app, and so on. But you would need to download and install software, so you can do it if you want. And then there is this presentation. I will upload the latest version later. It's like a few gigabytes, forgive me. All of the code that I'm sharing here today is in this Git repo. And also, I'm curating this very long list of different collabs, not only for deepfakes and avatars, but a lot of generative and creative tasks. So it's very messy, and feel free to check it out later. Okay, so back to the first part. The 1 to 7 is the things that I want to support today. What we have here is the following. There is this Vid2 head. This is the first one. We will take a video and do head puppeteering, head reenactment. The second one, Wav2Lip. We will take audio and either a still image or a video and change the lips. The third one, this is like my holy grail achievement. This will allow you to do live, if you have good internet, with very little latency, live camera to a head reenactment in your browser. And this is a unique tool. Then we have the Impressionator++, the full body. I've shown with the Kung Fu. This is like, I think this is the best that we have today, which is open source. It's a little bit slow, but it's wonderful. A more recent one, the articulated one from Snapchat. I also did a collab for it, and results are mixed for me, but I think it's very recent, so you may want to check it out. Vid2 Green, this started as a tool for automatic replacement of the background of a video with a different video, even if you don't have a green screen, or even if you don't have like a good simple background to replace. This is using state-of-the-art image, background, foreground matting models. And for some reason, I turned this into we can take it offline later if you're interested, into a general video mixer and glitcher. So you can just give it a list of YouTubes, and it can mix and match and create this mashup with multiple layers and different video effects. And I'm still developing it. But the reason it's here just because it has an easy option to change the background of a video with a different video. And last one here, we have Face Mesh. This is the one running in the browser. It's not a collab, and may require a somewhat stronger machine, and allowing you to drag and drop a video or take one from the internet and an image and do this kind of face swap. It's not a very good deepfake, but sometimes it can be good enough. So originally it was from the webcam, and I added an option to upload and then save a video. And then we have a lot of other stuff. So I won't go into everything. Some things are here from historic reason. Let me just mention this one. So actually, I didn't have time to audit it yet. I just checked that it's working, and I had something running in the background. I'll see in a moment if it's finished. It's a little bit more advanced, so please leave it for later. But this is like very recent, like I think 2 weeks ago, to do deepfakes in video with very good results, very quick, zero shot, allowing you to deal with multiple personalities, and I think it's very promising. There are several collabs. They're not they're not the most accessible, but if you do know like basic code, or you can use it, and we can also try it later together. And the last one I want to mention is the vocodes. They do have also some new like GUI for off-to-lip, but the reason I mention it is that they have speech synthesis with celebrity voices, and there are not too many options, but this is one of the few that allows you to get very easily audio. Again, very specific, but sometimes it works. Okay, so so what I want to do, and at least the first one we do together, you open the first link. Maybe someone can also put it in the chat, and click it, and it will open in a new tab. And this is code from GitHub. If you want later to save it, you can make your own copy to Drive. But let me just assure you that this is running. You do need to log in to your Google account, and this is between you and Google. We won't see anything that you're doing. Well, we will see, because hopefully you will share it, but this is running from your own account, just using Google's GPU. And this is a code notebook, and you do not have to know code, but if you do know, you probably know that behind each cell, these are cells that I can run. Behind each cell, there is code, and you can change the code if you want to do so. What the code does, it installs all the libraries, clones the repository from GitHub, and then there is like interface and pre-processing and functions that are running. To run this, I can do the simplest thing. Let's do it together now. Runtime and run all. I do need for the first time to confirm. If you trust me, you can confirm. And that's it, it's running. So as people get it running, let me do some troubleshooting advice. So first of all, I have a pro account. If you do not have, you may be limited to 1 or 2 concurrent notebooks. If this happens, you can always go to manage sessions and just kill the other ones and then run again. If you have some issues that you cannot recover, usually this happens because people do not run these cells in the correct order. But if you change something, if something breaks, you can either do restart and run all, or factory reset runtime and then run all. And I will help if there are any issues. So please let me know if someone was not able, or maybe you can do a thumbs up, thumbs down, if you were able to just log in and do runtime run all, and it should be running now. So if I'm scrolling down, I can see that it's still running. So let's just make sure that it's okay. I will go over the options in a second, Luis, don't worry. So can we have the thumbs up, thumbs down? Are there any issues? So there's actually a button for this in Zoom.
I have
okay.
thumbs.
So I will ask you to do stuff in a second. So so please let me know if there are any issues. Let me go over with you this first notebook just so we can understand, because this is a very like versatile and customable tool. And with very little understanding, I think you can do a lot of things with it. So the first one is just setup. I just run it for the first time. And then there is this option to get a video from the internet and an image from the internet. Now, you can do a lot of stuff here, but the easiest thing to do is put a YouTube link and put an image stored on the internet as a JPEG. So not only like the URL of a website with an image, but the specific JPEG. If you do like right click and copy image location or something like this, you get it. Now there are other options, but these are like the most simple ones. So let's stick with them. Then if you do not have your content on the internet, you do want to upload it, you can check these boxes. And then when you run the cell, it will give you an option to browse and upload your file. But you do not have to do it. So if you want to, you can do it later. Maybe first try with YouTube. Then option to short video, I put it to 60 seconds because if it's 2 minutes or more, maybe too much for this machine. So let's start with 60. And then I did prepare assets. This is, you can use the defaults. It does decentering and cropping and so on. Sometimes you need to change it, but these are my defaults, which I think work okay. And so this is like, you know, some of the secret sauce of making this work good. A lot of time comes in the form of correct automatic pre-processing. Now, what we're doing here, this step, I just made it explicit because I want you to understand how it works. It goes over the video and it finds the frame from the video, which has the best correlation of facial landmarks, facial features to the, so we have here the video of young Benjamin Netanyahu, and this is his Bibi, and this is TB, an opposing parliament member. And the driver will control the avatar. So for this, it finds the best alignment of facial features. And the last stage, animate, again, you can stay with the defaults, does this effect, and we get this nice amusing artifact of the hand. And then we can download it. And also I added like this experimental WAV2LIP post-processing, which tries to listen to the audio and fix the lips again. Sometimes it gets better results, but sometimes not. So it's optional. So, and the other notebooks are structured very similar. So if you're more advanced, you can just jump in and do these experiments. I already ran before this notebook. It takes more time for the full body control. You can see it's very similar. There's just one more option you may want to play with, where I allow you to choose a background image, okay? And then not only you get this nice full body puppeteering, you can also change the background. And there's this amusing glitch. If you can see the burn marks of her hands and the thighs, it's quite amusing. You would see it in a second when she turns around.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Should I run the whole thing from scratch after inserting the links?
You can just run it from that cell on, and you can do it if you do run after. It runs the highlighted cell and everything after. And you should not skip the steps that are not explicitly optional. Otherwise, it will break.
Yeah.
Okay, so you see these burn marks on the ties. So this is like a funny glitch. So this is just the notebook number 4 here. Okay, so they are similar. There are some others that are more special. We can do it later, but now I really want to take the time first to make sure that everybody is able to run it, and then allow you some time to play with the. So maybe you can start. I advise you to start with the first one, and you can change the video to a different YouTube. You can change the image. You can upload from your own machine, and you can try crazy experimentation. And let's see how it works. And I can give you advice how to make things look better sometimes. So so let's do this now. Are there any people having issues? Okay, so I suggest we take like 10 or 15 minutes. Let's see how it goes and allow people to experiment. I'm here if you have any issues or questions or remarks. And once you have something to share, either for troubleshooting, either good or bad results, please just jump in, and I'm sure we can all learn from that.
Eyal?
Yes,
Eyal?
go ahead.
It's not running the second time. How do I completely reset it? Automatic saving failed. This file was updated remotely or in another tab.
Do you care to share your screen so we can?
Sure.
Maybe it can help also other people.
I always have this with Google Colab. I can run stuff once.
Yeah. So if you don't mind sharing, I think it can be informational for other people. So if you want to save, you do need. I see you've already made your own copy.
Yeah, I worked from my own copy.
Okay, so you pressed copy to drive, or you did save a copy in drive. So then I'm actually not sure why there is a saving issue. And apart from that, is it running? You said there is.
It ran yours, but not mine.
So can you show us the issue?
Do run all.
Yeah, maybe now it will work, but
it's just stuck. It's not doing anything.
It's maybe if you scroll down, I think something is running down. Can you? Yeah, some more, please?
Oh, is it running?
I think it's finished. I think it's like
oh, it's running.
Yeah, it's stuck like in downloading the last one. So, but if you scroll up,
is it stuck though?
Sometimes
maybe I just didn't see that it was running.
Sometimes there's issue with the download. So, but if we scroll to the animate part, maybe now that we run it again, maybe it's starting over.
I think I didn't notice that it was running.
Yeah, so anyway, if you have this issue, you can go to runtime and you can either do restart run all, or you can do factory reset. And you can try to save again. I'm not sure why you have the save issue.
Because yours, it downloaded yours. Maybe it's because it's the same name? That shouldn't be.
No, the downloading is from the first time I think you run it. So it's hard for me to see which cell is running now.
I don't see a cell running.
Yeah, this one. The one that is no. Can you scroll up a bit? Yeah, this is the one running. This is the prepare assets.
Okay.
Yeah.
First,
okay. So now it's doing the alignment. Maybe we can see it together if you don't mind.
I don't mind.
So
okay, it's running.
Yeah.
Cool.
So I guess maybe there's like some fade in the beginning or something like this.
Yeah, there's an opening text.
Yeah, so it did not find faces in some of the frames, but that should still be okay.
Cool.
And let's is it a long video?
It's no, I think it's 40 seconds. Have you ever had a dream, kid?
Excuse me?
It's the have you ever had a dream?
Okay. Okay, so the alignment is finished, and in a second we can see the effect. Jonathan, I think what you asked about is an error from FFmpeg that puts together the video. Probably an issue with the audio sync. Sometimes you can just ignore these errors, but sometimes it's related to codec, and I'm not sure, but maybe you would share your results in a second, and we can see if there are any issues. But first, I'm waiting to see Yaniv's result. Now, what we will see now is the comparison of the original and the effect. But when you download it, it actually saves just the effect itself, but with the original audio. So sometimes it can be more convincing once you can hear the audio together with this effect. Yeah, so let's wait for a few more seconds, and here we can see the results.
Oh, so it's with he's moving my head, of course. You wanted
vice versa.
Yeah.
Okay, so you can try.
But
okay, so feel free to give it a shot. So Jonathan, do you mind to share yours, and we can see if there is any issue?
I have no results as of yet.
Okay.
Should I stop the share?
Yeah, thank you. Okay, thank you for sharing. Can we have other people show what they're doing? Okay, so people are still working. So let's give it a few more minutes. So I can, in the meantime, I can say that sometimes it can help to have a closer crop of the driver head, even if it's extreme. But as long as the mouth is bigger, you would get better control of the mouth of the avatar. And people were able to do very nice results, which I find hard to replicate, where they're able to capture actually the eyeball movement very nicely and blinking very nicely. And I think if you have a good enough close-up for the driving video, you can get these results. And of course, as you use more zany or glitchy materials, it could be very nice, but the alignment won't be so good because this was trained on human faces, probably.
It looks like crap. I love it.
So please share. So let's see what is Yaniv laughing about, and then let's try to help Jonathan.
Yes, this.
Can you put the audio on?
Oh yeah, sure.
So your volume is on 0. Maybe you're not sharing audio.
You don't hear the audio.
Yeah, now we hear it. Now we hear it. So the result is not so good.
No, but I like it. I can see. I can see the potential.
Okay, but can you go back to the collab and show us the prepare materials?
Oh yeah, sure. Sorry. So. What do you want me to show?
The prepare material, the cropping.
Which is
yeah. So so this should be good, but first I guess the issue maybe also your mustache is making an issue, and maybe if you change the crop and have a title crop of the kid playing with the above parameters, maybe you can get a better result.
A tighter crop of myself, you mean?
No, actually of the kid. And also there is this experimental setting that I put in. If you scroll down, it doesn't work good at all, but it does something. So if you put the exaggeration factor,
yeah, I was gonna do that next.
So it's just forced. Not all the way. It forces pixels to move and open a mouth where something else exists, but it has to open, so you can try it.
How do I run it from a certain place?
Yeah, you can just, if you didn't change the media, you can just click animate again.
And then it should run until the end from here?
Well, if you didn't change the crop, then this is
it's the last stage, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Jonathan, I want to see if I can...
Maybe I skipped a few critical steps. I think I'm going to try again. Undo share screen. And yeah. So, do you see my screen?
Yeah.
I tried to combine this video and a picture of Jeff Bezos, for example. And I got and I got nothing basically. Start like this and then like nothing here.
So this is just the preparation stage.
Okay.
Now it's doing.
So maybe I'm still waiting.
This is running for a long time.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, it finished. It just finished.
Just finished. So let's see.
So no, this will take a second, but if you scroll up, we can see the alignment it found. So
okay, it looks promising.
So yeah, I think it should work. And in a few seconds, so the Google machines, actually they have very strong free machines, but it depends on the availability. If you can get a stronger one like a V100 or a bit lesser one like the V100.
For free?
This is for free, but there are some limitations on the number of concurrent sessions and the time and so on per Google account. But you can really go a long way with these free GPUs. This is stronger like than the strong ones I have on my machines at home. So if you scroll down, let's see. Okay, so it's about halfway. We can wait.
I'll tell you now when it's done.
Okay.
If I've taken the video to After Effects, for example, would I be able to improve anything?
So most of the things we'll see today, the output is low resolution, and there are techniques that I didn't discuss because not always they work so good to do upscaling, to do super resolution with different algorithms. I didn't get so interesting results, but some people do it. Also, in the video you've shown, I think the either the speaker or his posture changes.
It cuts. There are cuts in the video.
Yeah, so if there are cuts, this may be an issue because it finds like the best alignment, but then when you move to a different cut, it doesn't try to realign. But you probably stopped it after 1 minute anyway, so maybe we won't have this issue. And yeah, let's see in a second what results did you get.
Okay. Okay.
I did put the exaggerate factor on 5 and I love it.
Okay, you can show us in a second. Let's
do you have to re-download and recalculate every time you tweak one of those?
So you just have to run the specific step that you change and the ones that are after it.
Okay, so you choose. How do you do that? You
no, but
run,
don't.
I'm not going to do that now.
Okay, okay.
But how do you choose which cell to run?
Okay, so usually I don't do run all. I just go cell by cell and run the things that I want to run. And in a second we can see
there's run the focus cell. I see that. Okay, download. Your session crashed. My session crashed.
Too much RAM used. Okay, okay.
So just try again. What would you do?
So this can happen.
I have 64 giga of RAM. It shouldn't happen.
No, but this is running on Google's machine.
Yeah. Okay.
There is an option for more RAM, but it is only for Google Pro. It does suffice for 60 seconds. But what I suggest you do is
let's do 20 seconds.
Yeah, let's do 20 seconds, and then you would need to run this stage forward. So if you go to you can also start like later. Yeah.
10 seconds in.
Okay. And then don't run, just go to a runtime run after.
Run after?
Run after, yeah.
Where is that?
No, one more.
This one?
Yeah.
After what?
So this will run that
cell
that is highlighted and the ones that follow it.
So according to what you see, run after should.
No, the last one that you changed is the highlighted one. Let's try.
Okay, I'll try.
So you see, it's running the one where we changed the duration.
Okay.
And it will run the other ones, and hopefully it will not crash. And you can close the message below, so we will know for sure if it crashes again or not. You have this.
Okay. Yeah. Why MPEG? I see you're using MPEGs.
You can ignore most of these remarks. And you see, as long as it's gray, it's still running. You can see that the icon on the tab on top is gray. So on the very top, on the tab in the browser, the infinity mark, if you go up to the tab itself, on the left, you see it's gray.
Yeah.
This means it's still running. You can also see on the bottom part, it writes that it's executing and where it is at. So it is still working. And you could scroll down and see what we have so far. So it's still in the pre-process stage. Okay, and so please...
You can continue. I will let you know if there's
please
anything
come back to us. Yaniv, you want to show us your results?
Oh, it's just a little bit more aggressive.
Okay.
I mean, it's nice if you want.
Okay, let's have some more people. How about Angela? Would you care to share with us? You're still downloading, but probably in the Colab itself, we can see some results. If you want to, but I think it can be educational. Okay, so let me just inform you that Bibi is no longer prime minister, so probably a good idea to take for a contemporary video, but okay. So yeah, it looks nice. I like it when the hands remain, so it's a little bit glitchy. I see she doesn't open the mouth so much, but maybe with the audio it would be more convincing. Okay, so can you just scroll up to the part where you okay, never mind. I just wanted to show, okay. Just show us how did you change the image? Yeah, so easy as that. And to change the video, you can just choose a different YouTube. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. So what is the situation? Are people still working? Is anybody else interested to share, to consult? Had trouble finding a new source video that was a good clip. Yeah, I agree. Sometimes it's harder to find. Always still working. Is anybody else still working?
Yeah, I can share a tiny one.
I'm not sure who's speaking, but please go ahead.
It's Vincent.
Please go ahead, Vincent.
So I just did one of Yoko and John.
Can you share the audio?
I thought I was. Hold on a sec. Sorry about that.
So there's an option in the sharing to choose also share audio. If you go on the top to the options.
Share computer sound. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You see, having gone through the Beatlemania thing, nowadays it's nothing like that. I mean, I can walk down the street and somebody will say, "Oh, hi, John," and they usually say, "How's your immigration?" You know, if it's in New York, right? And they don't hassle me. I might sign one autograph, two autographs, you know? And I don't get hassled. And I went through that period where I actually couldn't go anywhere. And so now it's like heaven. I can go and eat. We go and eat. We go to the movies. We go wherever we want.
So can I ask you to do an experiment?
Sure.
Can you scroll up a bit to the people? Yeah. Now for the crop image. So instead of 2.5, no, the bottom one. for the no, you're correct for the video. You're correct for the video one. I want a title crop, so less expansion. So maybe you can put who is this guy? This is a different.
The
it
video
changes,
breaks off.
the video. So
There's a cut in the video. Yeah.
So maybe you can try with 1.5 and just do run after for this. You can go to runtime run after. And I would be really interested to see if this gives us a better lip sync. Assuming that the crop works fine.
It might take a while, and my RAM might crash too, because I'm using a really tiny little computer. I shouldn't.
So again, the RAM here is the RAM of the Google Cloud GPU.
Gotcha.
So usually the presetting that I used should usually ensure that it works okay. Yeah, so let's wait a few minutes. We can see your results. If Ori or anybody else would want to share.
I can check back.
I get some results. Not the most exciting ones. Do you want me to share them?
Please go ahead. Now Luis asked, what is the behavior of the code with eyes closing? Mouth is better to input still images with open mouth. So this algorithm actually can take a mouth that was initially closed and do in-painting and generate new teeth for the mouth that was previously closed. I think it's interesting to experiment with these various options. And also the WAV2Lip can differ. Sometimes the first order motion model we're using here does a better effort to put in new teeth, but the WAV2Lip, the optional one down the Colab, gets a better lip sync. So we can see it in a second. But who is sharing now?
Jonathan.
Jonathan, can you explain just what's going on?
I think I didn't mess with the crop.
You made a tighter crop? Because
no,
I thought it could be better for the lip control, but I see it's not, maybe not so good. Can you scroll up to where we see the alignment? Okay, so maybe the crop is too tight, but let's we can play with it in a second more easily when we do the live camera one.
Okay.
So let's I wanted to see like the maybe the one we are running now, and Ori, if you have something, and then we can move to the next one. So thank you, Jonathan. So Luis, I'm not sure if I answered your question. Feel free to open your mic.
Yes, my question was, is it better to input a picture with open mouth, so the software is able to close it, instead of inputting the pictures with a closed mouth and hope that the system will open it?
You should try, please try and let me know. I guess if it's very extreme, like very closed or very open, it can be an issue, but between them, I think both should be okay.
And it's also easy to close the eyes.
Yeah, the eyes closing, this usually works. The eyebrows usually works. The eyeballs, not always. Okay, so we had, I'm not sure who did the Beatles. Was that Vincent?
Yeah, I'm still waiting.
Still waiting. And Ori, are you still working on something?
Yeah, I can share it, but I'm not quite happy with the results. So.
I think we can learn from it.
translate.
If you don't mind, let's do it.
All right,
and,
we'll try.
Okay.
Let's see if we can do it. We'll do this. Yeah. All right. So on the left, the picture I used is of my great grandfather, and some random dude from YouTube.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
So I was trying to challenge it with the beard and see if
it seems that it was challenged.
Yeah.
Did you by any chance? I see you've downloaded. So if you don't mind, maybe you can share audio. No, you don't have to press it again. Maybe you can show us.
It didn't download it. So
I didn't download. Okay.
No.
So it would be interesting to compare. So download this video. You can still press it. Or you can also get it from here. So what you did is actually good. Showing. No, it's actually good that you did it. I think there is a connection issue, but if you go on the right side where it says RAM and disk. Yeah. So that's click connect to hosted runtime. It will make it refresh. And then now you can see your files. And you can just go to this file system and you can download, and maybe you can also download for me the second one and the WAV2LIP one, and we can compare results. So
yeah, but I'm not saying it's downloading anything. So it's just going through the motions.
Is it finished? Well, there's a little arrow in your browser on the top showing the down and number 2 in the address bar. You see in the address bar of the browser on the right.
This one.
Yeah, so you need to approve
the
download. Yeah, and the other one, and so what I'm doing for the WAV2LIP.
Hey guys, shown here in the last few videos, you might have noticed that I quite improved my speech talking to a camera and also keeping my energy high.
Okay, I think we hear it via your mic, so it's not so strong, but it's okay. And can you also run the other one, the WAV2LIP?
Yeah, sure.
So what I'm doing in the second one, it was like just an experiment. Run WAV2LIP afterwards and see if you get better lip sync. Sometimes
see if I can.
Sometimes it helps, sometimes not.
If I can share my audio.
Okay, so it's on the top in the options, in the Zoom options on the top.
Getting this one maybe. Okay, we'll see if this works.
Hey guys, shown here in the last few videos, you might.
So it's more extreme, maybe even created more aggressive teeth, but
yeah, all right.
But maybe the sync is somewhat better, so it's an option.
Right.
Okay, thank you. Do we have the Beatles? Let's do that, and then.
Sorry, you were cut out because I switched for the other side. I didn't hear your response.
Excuse me?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, so I said I was trying to share the audio, and for some reason I couldn't hear you, so I didn't hear the response. So I'm not that I don't know. It's not that great at the moment.
Who's speaking?
It's Ori.
Okay.
Yeah.
So so I said that the WAV2LIP step was much more aggressive.
Yeah.
And maybe it was overzealous with the teeth, but maybe sure. the movement is more synced with the audio. Okay.
Right.
So Vincent, last one.
It's still chugging. I should.
Okay. So let me. So let me move on. If anybody wants to share later, please just jump in and let me go on. So this was just like the basic notebook. But I think you're already have a lot of knowledge on how to run most of them. One of the more novel ones is the one I talked already about, cam2head. If someone can put this in the chat, and let's jump in and try to do that. Oh, I was able to run the new deepfake, and then I will show it later. Okay, so yeah, so this is very similar. Let me just do, by the way, this is just all the references, but don't be afraid of this just first step. So let me just do runtime run all. There is a small subtlety that I'm logged in with the wrong account. So let's change this. So my browser, and this is the thing on PC at least, if the camera is taken by the zoom, then the browser does not have access to my camera. So I'll just momentarily close the video from my zoom. You will see me in a second via my screen share. So it's running. I see I got the P100 and not the V100, so not too happy about it, but let's see what it gives. This mainly depends on your internet connection. I had to do this like stupid tunneling thing to allow the backend to speak with the front end. Web stuff that I'm not very good at. It's using WebSockets. Also, people tried with WebRTC, but there were issues. And I was able to get working with WebSockets. There is like either Agro or ngrok, if you're familiar with it. I had so much trouble making it work, but I think now it should be okay. So I did choose some images, but we can change it later. And once the go live kicks in, it will ask me to, so I chose these three strong women I admire, Ilana Glazer, Marina Abramovich, and the lady from Avatar, the movie. Now it should ask me permission to access my camera. This is why I had to close my Zoom video. Not sure what is this debugger warning. Let's try to ignore it. Yeah, so it's asking me for my camera. I have these many virtual cameras, so I need to choose the right one. Okay, so now I got this rich GUI open. You can see my face, and this is Ilana Glazer. And yeah, it's super amazing, but I think the latency is like maybe half a second. And if you have better internet, it would be even better. Okay, so we have here multiple options. I can change my my zoom. I can change her zoom, so on. Now, you see, once I move out, it's not calibrated. You remember the stage for the when we did the calibration, the best frame. So there's this button, calibrate. It's a very important button. And now I have control again. So if I want good control of the mouth, I suggest move forward. Of course, I have to calibrate. And now I have better control of the mouth, the eyebrows, the eyes, and so on. Auto calibration is an experimental option I put in. You can play with it if you want. If you do too many things, you can do reset. I have three avatars, Ilana Glazer, Marina Abramovich, and Avatar from Avatar. There is also an option to drag and drop either from the web or from your machine. I can take, I don't know, let's do Obama and just drop. And now I can be Obama. Okay, and so on. And you can also drag and drop from the web, from an image, from the Google search results, image search results. So maybe I use the too much aggressive crop, but we can live with that. Okay. What do we have here more? We have all these you remember the website, this person does not exist. So you can just press human each time you get a new generated. This person is not real. If you care about gender or age, you can actually use this other website that filters these people by boy, girl, and woman, man. And some experimental options are not working so good. You can take these animas, you can take these sexy forsunas. And Doron Adler prepared a special model for Muppets. It's very basic models. Your results may vary. We call it like the Cronenberg Muppets, but sometimes you can get good ones. You have to look for them. There are some that are better. You see, the control is not so good. If I do exaggerate, it's maybe too much, but anyway, I wasn't able yet to get good Muppets. U is a very interesting option, which is similar, I think, in spirit to Maxine, to Camille. I just took a screenshot of myself, okay? How would we do it? Let's take a small piece of paper and put it on my head, okay? So I will do a screenshot, okay? And now I'm controlling this single image. So I'm animating myself, and as long as I don't move too much, I can get some control. And there are other options here. You can see the landmarks, and you can do like a blending between the avatar and the source, and you can play with this WebSocket buffer and so on. So I think many rich options, and namely the option to just drag from the web or from a machine any avatar. And as far as I know, I couldn't find any such interface, so I did it myself. Yeah, so let's take some time to play with this. It's also an opportunity to test things like the open mouth, closed mouth, zoom in, zoom out. And you can actually get fun glitches just playing with the, say, zoom. So if I go like this, I always forget how to do it. Yeah, so I can get this small Ilana Glazer. So you can do these fun glitches, of course, also with the cropping. Yeah, so let me close this and open my camera again, and let's take some time to allow people to play with it. And you can also go ahead and try the other options. I suggest let's take again like 10-15 minutes depending on people, and then we can move on to see some deep fake stuff, the face mesh, and the newer one, the SIM swap. I just have results for the first time, and yeah, we can discuss this later. So I will close my mic, but I will be here to answer questions if you have. Let's see what's going on in the chat. Louis, Chrome Windows 7 in the Go Live cell. I get a tunnel, either Ergo or ngrok. Neither of them seem to work.
I don't even know what is nRgo or ngrok.
I don't know how to explain because I just tried until it worked, but it's a service to allow you to use WebSockets to communicate between the Colab backend and the front end, and you need to use a third-party service that I don't know, opens the channel, gives you the URL for exchanging the data. So are you behind some kind of firewall, university?
Let me check.
Okay.
No, I am not with the VPN currently.
Did you get any error messages? Can you show?
Yes, I can copy.
Please go ahead. I would be happy to debug.
Wait, it's be a bit difficult to copy my huge screen. I think I can just copy the output.
Actually, it would be easier to see in context, if you don't mind.
Yes, let's try it. Access to the screen is big, so how to show my screen? I never do that. Where to show my screen?
Share, there is a green button.
There is a green. Okay, let's try it. I have two screens. I think it's the right one. It's a 4K screen, so it probably is too small for you.
Yeah, so we can see your browser with this tab open.
Okay, now I have column 1 to authorize the camera.
Yeah, you should.
So it's probably better.
Can you press again?
Yes, I press again the cell.
Yeah.
So I hope with Argo that it will work.
Okay, let's see.
No, same error. Org image is not defined.
Yeah. Okay.
Probably
so,
there. Yes.
Something, for some reason, it reset, it's disconnected, and nothing is defined. So we should try to run it from the beginning. Just do execution.
So I do execution again.
Run all.
I run everything again.
Yeah. Let's see. So if you have an issue, the easiest thing to do is restart and run all, or factory reset and start over.
Yeah. So it's working on the top right now. Second cell, get the avatar image from the web. Prepare assets. And now go live.
Yeah, let's see.
Live, it should work with Argo. I don't know if one is better than the other. No, they still.
Wait. So these debug
at least I got the.
You can ignore. So the thing is that the Colab is it's a hosted environment and it changes from time to time.
It seems that he has access to my ops and not to my camera.
Yeah, you need to change the camera on Chrome. If you go to the right on the URL, no, on the right on the URL bar, in the address bar,
on the right,
the camera icon.
Where is the camera icon? Near the address, there is
near the bookmark star. Yeah.
Okay, there is a camera. Okay, now great.
Can you change? Can you change?
So I'm sorry.
If you click the,
I cannot change it.
If you click the checkbox, the circle.
No, it's in French. It's called toujours bloqué. Let's say always blocked. Only was.
Okay, so
I think the problem is currently trying to access the ops virtual camera.
Yeah. So sometimes this is an issue with Chrome to let it know which camera you want.
Yeah. Let's try. There is a button below. Let's try to. No, integrated camera. Yes, I can try to change to it integrated camera right now.
So sometimes I just, I restart the browser or try again. And then when you have the option to approve, sometimes it does allow you to change the camera. But I found Chrome, also Firefox, sometimes once you have all these virtual cameras, sometimes it can make some trouble. Yeah. Of course, you can also use your OBS just to stream via OBS.
Okay, I understand.
If you really want to do it, but it seems to be working.
Yeah, it seems to work if I.
Yeah. So.
I think, so the best is probably to reload everything and go out of Chrome and go, but I don't understand how it will change something.
Well, in the stage where it asks you to approve the camera, was there an option to choose which one?
In the camera, there is still not an option. It's
No,
still...
not now. Before there was this small pop-up, and you did accept, and I'm not sure if it allowed you to change.
Okay. So we can run it. We can stop running the cell and run it again.
And yeah, let's see. And sometimes I do like block, unblock, but it's really annoying sometimes.
Okay, still nothing. No authorization. Let's connect start right now. Set receive. No, still ops.
Yeah.
Still ops.
So can you like block and unblock the camera? Do you know how to do it?
I can try it. It's here. How to block it? Let's block it.
Yeah.
Let's unblock it.
No, but you need to do okay. Otherwise,
okay, of course. Okay, so let's block it. Now let's unblock it.
Yeah. Now, okay.
My camera is still not working. No, I cannot access the.
Okay. So
I will try to handle it by myself.
Yeah, please try. You can also try Firefox. Usually that works for me. And
okay.
Yeah, let's try some more. And yeah.
Yeah, I have access to the integrated camera from here, and probably I can try to reload.
So please go ahead and let's come back to you.
Thank you very much.
After you try. So again, this is an issue with Chrome. Jonathan had a question. How do I use it on Zoom?
Am I still sharing my screen right now?
No, I stopped.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Louis. So I don't want to do this now, maybe in the very end, but just to answer your question, if you look in the document, there's a section about the virtual camera, Jonathan, and what I'm doing, once I have my online avatar, of course, you can use other software like Avatarify, but from the browser, I just, also from Avatarify, I choose part of the window. I put a box on the part that I want using a streamer like OBS project or SplitCam. And these software take this specific patch of the screen and it tells your machine, this is like a virtual camera. And then when you use Zoom, you can just, instead of your real camera, point it to the virtual camera. Now, I heard that on Mac, maybe there are some issues, I'm not sure, but there is some combination of software that probably can work for you. And I can demo it, but I don't want to do it now because it's more technical. There are no silly questions, no problem. Okay, so let's take some more time so everyone can play with it. And you've seen it's quite easy to change the avatars. Maybe you already have interesting experiments you thought about. So if people are working, we can take a few more minutes. Is anybody stuck with some issues? Is anybody trying stuff?
Yep, working for me.
Okay, so do you guys want more time to experiment? Let's take maybe 5
minutes would be nice.
Yeah, no problem. We have time. So let's start with 5 minutes toilet break and for me, and continue working for you, and we'll see where we are at in a few minutes. Yaniv, if you're doing stuff, please explain.
I did what you said with OBS.
Yeah, so maybe you want to reiterate.
I did the regular thing with my face, and then I cropped it out of my browser and virtual cammed it to Zoom. Like what you just said. No?
Yeah, very nice.
It's just I just cropped the square and
Can you press calibrate?
What?
Can you press
the auto calibrate is on. My exaggeration factor is 2.3.
Auto calibrate is an experimental option, but if you press calibrate, maybe you can get.
Yeah, I calibrate. There's the auto calibrate, and I take a snapshot every once.
But we see your face now. You're controlling your own face, right?
Snapshot face.
Okay, snapshot
I can do it with her as well.
Yeah.
Prefer. But I like it that it's extremely.
Yeah, I know you.
Yeah, you know me.
I'll show you some glitches later. Okay. Nick is heading off, and we'll come back. Let me just we're of course continuing until past, but let me just mention that I'm very pleased with the participation. A lot of time people are reluctant to show things, and I think we can learn a lot both for ourselves and for others by just doing this experimentation together. So I'm very happy with the participation, one of the best. Of course, feel free later on to send me stuff, if you want to consult, if you want to develop this together, if you want to do the replicate this workshop. I'm always happy for a collaboration. Let's take a few more minutes until 5:30, and then maybe we can see some of your experiments, and then I think I will review some of the other ones and leave the rest of the time for free experimentation.
This is so perverse. Enjoying this very much. Funny.
Okay, so before I would be happy if anybody wants to show us stuff. Before that, let me just show you something I just did using the SimSwap notebook, which is like by the original authors. I find that as we move on, people are more aware and making their code more accessible, and I'm very happy for that because it's less work for me. So I just used the very recent face swap called SimSwap, and I didn't play with it so much. So I'm not sure, maybe on the left, you see the original, and on the right, this is supposed to be my face, but the blend is quite strong with the original. But at least in the beginning, I think you can see more of my face. Probably there are some parameters you can play with, but I'm quite happy because actually, usually the blending is the problematic factor, and they are doing quite a good job. So just need to put in more of myself. Okay. So does anybody want to share anything or ask, show, or should we move on? Or do you want more time?
Eyal, do you have any recommendation for, you know, the live webcam avatar one? I switched. It's like my webcam. I just get a still image, and I'm not seeing anything from like the result.
Can you share?
Yeah, and I went over in Firefox hoping that would help, and it doesn't seem to be doing much of a difference.
Yeah, so this sometimes happen. Can you try to stop the running cell? And sometimes it's also difficult to stop. I'm not sure what exactly is running now.
I'm trying to use the keyboard shortcut.
Can you press the 3 dots below the spinning? Yeah. Sometimes this can help. You can do like a runtime interrupt, but sometimes this means you would have to start over. Let's try. Okay, just try go live again. Still frozen.
Yeah.
Where do you have the camera access? Can you go to the camera in the red? Yeah. Can you block it temporarily? Okay, and now try to do stop and play again like we did before. Yeah.
Just run the selected one.
From runtime, interrupt execution. Yeah, play. Now it should ask you again to share. Someone asking in the chat. Of course, Avatarify Python works on YouTube, and sorry, on Ubuntu. Yeah. Fingers crossed. No, I'm not sure. Sometimes I get it like with connection issues. I'm really not sure.
Yeah.
You want to try ngrok? I'm not sure if this is the issue. I think it's a browser issue, but and you tried before with Chrome?
Yeah, I was in Chrome initially, and that's why it's hopped over.
And you had the same issue?
Yeah.
And your Zoom camera is closed, right? It's not occupied.
Yeah. I'll
Let's
try it again with the
Nrock.
I'll try it with the Nrock.
I'm not sure if this is the issue, but when this happens, I just try again. So you know, this is like things that we get for free, and sometimes they break. It's not like application grade. So I'm grateful for when it works, and when it doesn't, I try again. So please try again. If it doesn't work, I would be happy to take it offline with you and solve it.
No worries.
Okay, so we have 20 more minutes. Let me take this time to show you some more stuff.
There's something very cool with this.
I'm not sure if someone is talking. Feel free.
I was saying, I think I discovered something pretty cool with the...
Please, you can share and take over the sharing. Go ahead.
Sharing is sharing. Here. Can you see the kid?
Yeah.
So if you zoom in and out, then you get this style GAN thing. It changes faces completely. It becomes someone else.
This is like generated?
It's the girl one.
Okay.
Human one. So you get these change of shapes, and it kind of.
Yeah, I don't think it's a style God thing, but yeah, it's a nice glitch.
It looks like the effect of the style GAN when it goes through different faces.
But it also happens with Ilana Glazer and.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. It's nice.
Nice. Okay, so yeah, so let's do like the final notebooks. So you have all the knowledge. So okay, we did vid to head, we did come to head. I did show you vid to warp. It's very similar and it's slow, but you can play with it later. It's this one, and results may vary, but feel free to play with it and share. It's the impersonator ++. There is the WAV to lip. Let me show you the options here. It's a little bit different. So just one play button, and these are the options. For audio, I gave you some options ahead to choose from. So there are some in English and some in Hebrew, and some have either 1, 2, or 3 speakers. But you could also upload and just put here the file name. I just didn't do a nice interface, but there is an option to take it from the video. But I think there's also an option just to change the put in your own. But let's maybe that's more involved. So you can start with just choosing one of these. But if you want later, I can show you how to change. Or if you go into the code, you can see where to change the MP4. And let's see. And then the most interesting option here is to switch speakers. If you do switch speakers, you can use one of these models that detect the speaker switching, and then if you upload 2 images, it will, or 3, it will switch between them. It doesn't work so good, but you can try. And let me remind you that you can also upload the video. Now, if your audio is silent and the original video is talking, there will be some issues with the lips moving out of sync. But also for that, there are some tricks that people invent. For example, you can try to put in like something like some like noise, but with lips closed, and maybe it will help. And the only thing you need to know is when you run, you have to scroll down and choose the browse in the browser button, and that will open in a second. Yeah, and if I do browse, I upload from my machine the image or the video, and that's it. So you can play with it. And again, there are various options. I don't want to go in now. The articulated animation, this is the most recent one I made. This is the one we saw before with Seinfeld and Han Solo. It's quite new. I did expect better results. I will follow up with them and see if I'm doing everything correctly. But sometimes you can get nice results. I did have an issue again with the memory. I had to make the length shorter. Otherwise, on the non-Pro Colab, I had a memory issue. And the two last I want to discuss, so the V2Green and the face mesh. The V2Green, and this is under development. There is already a newer version in the dev branch, but let's stick to now to master. It's a very rich environment to change the background of an image or a video with another image or another video, and also to upload many videos, and it can cut and mix them automatically, having multiple layers and different video effects. And I'm now adding a gimmick effect and so on. It's quite involved. I did put here some demos I did. So if you go to this my tweet, you can see comparison of the different models I put here. How do they compare? And if you go to here, you can see I did some options. The unit also has this sketching option. And I tried to recreate the taken me clip, which is mixed between a foreground that is regular and background, which is a drawing, or vice versa. And it took them like a few months to do it. So here I show all the options. So foreground is sketch, background is sketch, all is sketch. So you can get this nice effect. And if you don't know the original clip, you should see it as well. And this is here. This is the latest cut up mix up thing I'm doing. So here, this is like 1 hour long with some various effects, but essentially what it's doing, it's taking this different video clips, cutting them, meshing them up together. It depends on your materials, but you can get very nice things. In the end, I also added the laser eye effect that sometimes you can see. I had to run it through a Snapchat to get this a laser effect. And yeah, so you can very rich options that you can play with. And for example, if I put in these clips about flying, I think you could see in the beginning Alice just flying nearby with people from Mary Poppins or with Peter Pan. So you can get these very nice mashups, but this is for another workshop. So again, you can just do runtime run all. It can take somewhat longer, but you can play with it, and changing the background can also be important for your faking attempts. And finally, I want to show face mesh. This is the only one here that runs locally in the browser. Again, this is based on someone else's work, but I added options and made it into maybe a more useful tool for creators. So instead of just using your camera, you can upload a video, and I made it very flexible. You can upload a video, drag and drop a video from your machine or from the web. Sometimes there are issues, with cross origin doing that. So results can vary. And you can also drag and drop like a face mask. We had this somewhere before. Here, say Einstein. Okay. And you can also drag and drop a video, and there's some options here.
Fucked up dystopia. Thank you.
You also get back the audio, just not on the first time because of security reasons. And you can also record the video locally, switch to camera, and so on. So many options. Everything is running locally. It's not such a good deep fake. It's very cheap. It's just doing this face swapping.
But how we move forward.
So it's stretching the original face. So sometimes, and the blending is not so good, but you can play with it and results may vary. And like a lot of time video editors fix the blending themselves. So it can be like an initial attempt to do that.
We need to be more vigilant with what we trust from the internet.
Okay, so
we need to rely.
I need to close the audio. Okay, so so these are the tools you can find on the page. Some more tools. Feel free to experiment with them. I suggest we take the remaining few minutes for experimenting, for questions, and I'm always happy to take this offline if someone is interested. Regarding the avatar Python question, I cannot support now this question about Ubuntu, but we can take it offline later. Yeah, so I'll be quiet for a few minutes. Feel free to jump in if you have any questions, remarks, or share anything. And then maybe we have a few words from our host and we can wrap up.
Is there any way to tweak the wave to lip thing script?
The wave to lip?
Yeah.
Of course, but how do you want to tweak? In which way?
There's the exaggerate thing that there was in the other one that I enjoyed.
So this is just an experimental option that I put in that doesn't work good. Wave to lip has its own parameters. I did put some options there, mostly involving how to choose the area of the face if it does not find a face. So you can also use it for things like anima that sometimes it doesn't find a face. So I put in some options. If these does not suffice, you can open the code and change the code. So it's, all the code is there. And I'll be happy to look into it later with you if you're interested in something specific.
No, just no. Curious. Like if it can detect other stuff, it can do it in the eyes instead.
So feel free to let me know if you want me to show you the virtual camera, you have questions, remark, you want to have a show discussion, future plans, show stuff. We have like 5 more minutes.
I don't know if I am out of the current subject, but have you done any experiments with neural networks able to derive three-dimensional information from just a still image or a video, and to use that to do something interesting with it?
Yeah, so first of all, there are many works in this direction, both to understand the depth map from a single image of a scene, and both to model, like maybe from some viewpoints, get a 3D model of a object, namely the human body. Sometimes also from a single object. You can actually find some notebooks in the curated list. This is the last link in the doc. I think that the Impressionator++ works so good because it does assume some kind of 3D human model and tries to superimpose your original image on top of this model, but maybe I'm already mixing up different, so I'm not sure. But indeed, this is part of the efforts, and probably the better results, maybe like the ones we've seen from Deep Nostalgia. I'm guessing here. I guess that they are based on these 3D models. And the price is that it's usually less flexible. So it's very specific, say, for faces. But yeah, this is part of the possible directions that people are addressing these issues, and of course also relevant for other use cases.
Thank you. I was wondering if instead of just doing a separation, like a green screen separation without the green screen, if we have access to the depth map, what can we do better? How can we improve the kind of compositing we can do from original video without a depth map?
Yeah, so the models I've shown before are just for mapping, and usually for human mapping, and they do not consider, they do not try to estimate that, but it sounds like an interesting direction. I'm not sure if I've seen anything like this. I will look for it because it sounds interesting. To try to combine depth estimation models for the objective of changing the background. There are some specialized models. I'm not sure how it works, but there's this nice result where they do a sky replacement. So you can change the sky to like a storm or a spaceship in the sky or things like this. But again, I don't think they're doing depth estimation. It's a very interesting question.
Thank you.
And you can get better results for a green screen if you have a human in the loop, like just giving some cues. But if you're fully automatic, then probably your model is biased very strongly to some specific domain, like portraits that it was trained on. And as you move to other things, it won't work so good. There was a question about CycleGun results. CycleGun is quite old, from 2017. I played with it a lot. I have at least 1 or 2 projects based on CycleGun. But today you can find like more modern equivalents that started from that point that can give very nice results. It had the biggest issue was that it could not do strong geometric changes. So StyleGAN is like, CycleGAN is like change horses to zebras, but not having paired data. But I have a whole talk about it. I won't go into it now, but I urge you to like look at the newest stuff people are doing. Some of it is based on StyleGAN. A lot of it is from the lab by Daniel Cohen-Or from Tel Aviv. You can find many notebooks in the list I mentioned. And the new methods are able to do these like real-time strong geometric manipulations and can maybe be relevant alternatives to some of the things we've seen today. Yeah, I see Yaniv is playing with the face mesh from the camera.
The tool, the online tool.
We cannot hear you so good.
Wait, the online tool.
Okay, yeah, nice. So this is a mask. The blending is not so good and it's stretching to your face, but sometimes it can be a nice cheap face swap and running real time in your browser. So that's nice. Okay, so we need to conclude. I'm not sure if Nick or Mr. Clark are here and they want to conclude.
First, I have to thank you. You are an impressive animator.
So I'm a coder. I don't know how to animate, or maybe you're referring to Yaniv. But anyway, thank you very much for participating. Everything is open source. Everything remains available. Feel free to contact me with any questions. Depending, we can share. I will have a mail later with all the links again, and depending on the policy of the festival, we see if we can share the recording. And I think that's about it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.